Hey, Questers, welcome back. This is part 2 of our Champions of Order series, where we dig into the book that was just released for Age of Sigmar Soulbound. And it is going to involve us doing some endeavors, which is the second time we've done it. And we're going to be doing some leveling between sessions, and we're going to kick things off again next week with a brand new episode and a brand new adventure. So hopefully you are all interested in the more character management style of these episodes. Would love to hear what you think about it. Head over to the Questward Discord if you want to chat with us. If you want to help support the show, make new episodes, upgrade some equipment, you can head over to patreon.com/Questward. That allows you to chip us a few bucks every month. And, we can support growing the show. If you're able, please also consider sharing us with your friends and other gaming groups that you might have. And if you are able to, kick us a review on Apple Podcasts, that would be great. The next episode is out on April 7th, and that is going to be a brand new adventure with Maris. We got Okri, we got Phallus. It's going to be super fun. We are going to be exploring Torlann in a little bit more detail. So I'm really excited to get those episodes edited up and out. I think that's pretty much everything. We're going to kick back in and finish off these endeavors. Thanks and take care. I heard it, but I just want to wait. I want to hear more.
I want to hear more.
Yeah.
I have things to... I have a life to live, damn it.
All right, we're going to kick things off with our endeavors for this. So is there anyone that kind of wants to get started? Kick this off?
I don't want to get started. I actually specifically want to go last, if I could. And I want you guys to just keep in mind that Frostblade is not around and hard to find.
Okay. You're going to vote $1, aren't you?
My endeavor is to find Frostblade.
Ah, shit! Frostblade, go first! Damn it.
Pickles was sleeping in his branches? Where did Pickles go? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, sorry.
I've got a tracker on Frostblade.
Well, on that note, Maris, why don't you kick us off with your endeavor?
Well, shit. Cool. So, do you want me just to read out the whole endeavor, or just riff on it how I wanna?
Riff on it. Just let's.
Cool.
It's like jazz, baby. It's all about the endeavors you don't take.
Beat me to it, Dave. I wanted to make the jazz joke, but I couldn't find my unmute button. I'll be back.
Cool. Yeah. So, Maris is back on Torlann, laying in bed. It's been a rough few weeks or months, not a lot of great stuff going on. And she's laying in bed, cuddling with Pickles and just kind of staring into Pickles' fur. And as you know, Pickles has all the constellations that represent whatever realm they're in. And she's just staring at these celestial bodies, these constellations on Pickles' fur, and just thinking about all the shit that happened. She's thinking about she saw that Lord of Change, and there was people being kidnapped, and why the fuck did Bort drink vampire blood, and just all these
good question.
She's thinking of all of she wouldn't think fuck, but yeah, that's just me adding flavor. But she's thinking about all of these rumors and all this shit that's going around, and she just kind of zones out on Pickles' fur, and they start to move, right? And it's they're trying to communicate to her the constellations, and she just kind of gets lost in it, and it's she's reading a story that's happening on Pickles, and she's starting to learn a little bit more about what's going on in the world. And this is where I need Dave to step in.
Have you just turned Pickles into a Kindle?
Just swiping across the tummy.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to do a moment here, Franco.
This reminds me, I just started reading a web novel called Omniscient Reader, where it's about...
Right.
Anyways, just about constellations and stuff.
So you wanted to, just to kind of recap things, you're asking about 3 rumors, fears, or rumors or fears that you want to get more information on.
Exactly.
So you had mentioned the Lord of Change. You had mentioned the cup of vampire blood, and what was the third one?
It was the what was the Oh my goodness. The people being kidnapped.
Kidnapped, right. Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so basically the implication here is that you're going to get some insight into how this could evolve. Okay, so you see in your mind there's the open sky, and then the constellation forms to form the supple and rugged face of Bort Jortson. And there's like one eye that's kind of like a little bit dull, and you get all that detail. It's funny that you mention this because you actually can see this constellation of Bort. It's kind of white. It's in the sky. It's in like, you have this kind of whole thing laid out
On pickles.
Yeah,
On pickles.
On pickles. You're seeing the face of Bort Jortson on Pickles' normally super adorable tummy, and the face of Bort is looking up at you, and you actually see. You see like the lines forming of the constellation and etching this out, and it becomes a lot more clear. And then you almost see Bort's face kind of come into full color, but you notice that Bort's complexion is deathly pale, and you see blood trickling down the sides of his mouth and into his gross, gnarly beard. As Bort's face looms up from the sky, the constellation ripples red and disappears.
What did you do, Bort? Bort, what did you do, Bort?
Shaking Pickles.
Yeah.
Pickles is
just limp.
confused. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
The next thing that you had been asking about, you had this kind of situation. Some shenanigans happened while you were aboard the ship as you were sailing towards Drizzle Drop Island with all their other Caradrons. You had come face to face with this large, avian creature. It looked at you, and ever since then, you felt this lingering presence kind of going on with you. You look at Pickles' little tum-tum, and you see yourself for a moment. It's almost as if you're staring into a fuzzy mirror. And as you look back at yourself, you see your own head like tilt slightly, and then your arms kind of lift, and you see cast out spells, and you realize it almost looks like you're on strings. And behind that, it fans out backwards, and you see that the figure of the Lord of Change behind you, as if it was pulling your own strings. And then that goes away.
Well, shit. Cool.
And surely the third one will be fine. You see deep, deep darkness on Pickles' tummy. We see it. The fuzziness envelops the camera as the camera continues to zoom in. You actually notice that you're no longer in the celestial bodies of the sky. You're in the deep, deep, deep ocean. And you see a figure looking up at you with an outstretched hand as they're sinking away. And it looks like they're trying to get you to grab their hand, and they get pulled deeper and deeper and deeper into the depths of the ocean. And then they basically disappear into a single speck of light, in which they drift down slowly, landing on the sands of the ocean's bottom. And then you realize as everything refocuses again, you see a long trail of these similarly shaped white dots leading into the horizon. And as they lead off into the darkness, you see swirling water all around.
Cool.
How much soulfire did we heal, guys? I'm just trying to keep count.
Yeah, there you go. Does that answer all your questions, Dylan? No questions remaining?
Not at all. It's clear as mud. Clear as mud.
You must murder the entire crew.
What?
Kill them all.
Murray's become an evil demon.
Now, okay, so just the other part of this, we kind of talked about that a little bit narratively. Your GM tells you how these rumors or fears might manifest as threats. You can gauge based on what you've seen on Westercast and what you've seen, as with people going missing, even off of Gormerstown and Storm's Mandate. These abductions are likely only going to increase as time goes on. You saw a figure in the water. You're confident at this point that those things are related. Based on the fact that you interrupted something you were definitely not supposed to interrupt, there's a possibility that may change the rules. In regards to Bort,
That's the clearest one out of them all, I feel
I feel like that's the clearest one. I don't think I need to say anything else.
Spoiler, Bart's going to become a vampire is what is
Bart's
the
going to get
potential
a
threat.
pie in the face, and it's going to get just all
Okay,
over the face.
But what if that just makes Bort stronger?
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much where that would go. And you're also kind of realizing that the source of your magics was very intentional.
It wasn't from like being really smart, getting good grades, and studying really hard. Because that's what Maris thought it was from. And being able to read a random tablet that fell out of a bookshelf
Kindle.
from a fiery little demon baby thing.
The lives we lead.
Cool.
So the next person, who wants to go next for their endeavor?
All right, not everybody jump out at once. I'll go for it. Yeah, I know what I want to do. I would like to take the Cultivate Endeavor. Last time that we made our endeavors, we tried to kind of Frostblade and I tried to figure out how to grow like a little sapling or something in the little gardens of Torlann. And Cass is still on that path. She's trying to figure out how to best grow plants in the tough regions of the Sigmar Isles. And I think that she would spend this week doing so, like going and tending to that particular plant that was put in the ground not too long ago, as well as trying to figure out any sort of like new food sources that she might be able to grow in this region rather than others. Mm-hmm. Just one sec here. Here we are. I was just having trouble finding the actual thing. So, Cass is trying to cultivate a garden, which ends up being mechanically a DN4-8 Mind Nature extended test. So over the course of a week, I can make 3 tests to try to cultivate my garden. And if I succeed, I can start to learn about the applications of a plant or fungus or something harvestable. And yeah, my thought was that maybe when she made the trip to Drizzle Drop last time, that a couple of spores or something made their way back with her, and she discovered a few mushrooms growing maybe on some dirt on her shoe that she hadn't cleaned off, or something she tracked in, and she's now trying to cultivate that.
So to be specific, I think you need to pick, because like from the way this is laid out, you're trying to cultivate a thing, mm-hmm. right? So do you want to do like the mushrooms, the sapling that was planted, or do you want to do crops? Because those are different endeavors.
Probably crops.
Well, to be specific, yeah, because to be specific, like what it says here is you're learning about the specific plant or fungus to cultivate and be harvesting, right? Mm-hmm. What you had planted with Frostblade was like a tree sapling, mm-hmm. Like I was thinking as an acorn or a pine cone or something. And then like there's the fungus, and then there's like other kind of like food crops and stuff. So like any of those are good. I just want to know which one you want to do.
Well, the goal is to find something that's edible. So like crops, I guess. Forget the fungus thing. That was just like a, like what is like what's a new thing that might be able to be harvested.
Maybe you're going to go crops.
Exactly. So why not both? It is the fungus crop that
okay
is going to be the new hot thing.
Are you going to Caldera Isle?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Okay,
cool. So you head out. Caldera Isle is from our Fire Slayers volcano episodes. So you head there. Are you? You see. I'm going to assume someone's going to drive you there on a boat.
Taxi.
You hop off. Yeah, and yeah, you step onto the shores of Caldera Isle. It is calm. There's a very like smooth plume of light gray smoke coming out of the volcano. Mm-hmm. The lava flows on the outside have entirely ceased, and you have the bright white sand along the edges with like the lush greenery beyond. Where do you want to set up your first test bed?
So I would definitely go in and say, hey, Cass would, say hi to the dwarven that lives on his own in that little mountain, sadly, and potentially ask him if there's a place that would be cool to start up a garden or something, or a place that would be best for that. And then maybe he'd have some advice for, where it might be best.
Sure. Yeah. So your good friend Hamhag Umberforge, he pauses and thinks about it for a moment. He takes you over to the south side of the island, towards this clearing, within the jungle. It had been entirely unscathed by the plumes coming down. In fact, what you notice is the plume on one side kind of forms a natural barrier on one side where you could begin to cultivate. There's some trees here, and some undergrowth and brush. But if you clear that away, it looks like it would be quite fertile.
Perfect. And I guess while Cass is starting to try to cultivate this, or the week that she spends there, she would also take this time to kind of pitch the idea, hey, what do you think about entertaining the idea of having people from another region kind of start to settle here, and to kind of create a little kind of cooperative society. So basically pitching the idea of settling there for New Gulch.
Gulch.
And that doesn't need to be a roll or anything, just kind of fielding the question and getting that into the mind of this Fire Slayer's Lodge.
Yeah, so he's actually open to that. It is one thing that he had sort of agreed to before as part of joining the Storm's mandate. So he's open to having that, so long as he has his section that is unmarred by gentrification. He is totally fine to just hang out in his forge.
Perfect. Okay, and so I guess I need to make a couple of mind checks.
DN 4-8.
Mind
so
nature.
You're going to do a mind nature. You're going to roll 3 times, and you are going to need 4s. And as soon as you get 8, you're good to go.
Okay, so I do actually have some training in nature. Makes sense to me. So my dice pool is 4. I've got 3 mind, 1 nature. Looking for 4s. We have 3 4s on the first roll. 6, 5, 4, 2. Second roll is oops. Okay, goodbye dice. Second roll is 2 successes. How many successes do I need?
You need 3 more.
Please.
Cass is just gonna blow the soul fire on this.
Okay, I've got a 6 and a 4, and 1 dice is cocked.
Can you stick a dice on top of it?
I cannot.
Okay, reroll that puppy.
It's a 3, so I failed by 1.
Okay. Yeah, you're working away at it. I think Cass is kind of tilling the earth, getting everything kind of set up. You've successfully cleared a plot of land here, and the earth's just not taking it. You've kind of, be good to know after a week if your crops are going to work or not. But you think you're going to need some extra help in order to really break up all the roots here. Successfully clear away all this lush growth.
I should have gotten help from that Fire Slayer. Perhaps he knows about cultivation.
He's just sitting on his lawn chair watching you while drinking some,
just laughing, just enjoying my failure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Is it too late for Frostglade to hero land and plant or punch the soil and help someone?
Frostglade was nowhere to be found.
Frostglade, he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
shit.
Fortunately, yeah.
Where'd he go?
Okay, well, who knows? He could be anywhere. All right, bye.
Man, what a waste of an endeavor. All right, moving on.
If only Frostglade was here. Yeah, moving on. Okay.
I can go next.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Phallus, with his armor damaged, probably needs to do a shopping trip. I could ask somebody to help repair it, but I think he got somebody to help craft the whip last time. So I'll go out, pay dues. It's going to cost me 100 drops to repair my armor. But the other thing that he wanted to do while he's out shopping, and this is something that he might want to talk to, I forget who is the leader of the Storm's Mandate. But he has the intention to trade one of their boats for a whaling boat.
Yes.
Especially because we know Dreams of Sails was kind of like wrecked a bit, so maybe it's it's better to just trade it in instead of repairing the boat. Better for the Storm's Mandate as well in general. That's how he'll pitch it to Thunderhammer or whatever his name is.
Noun, adjective, noun. Murray, I definitely don't want to interrupt, but did you see like the fortify endeavor? And could you now or in the future fortify a ship so that it would be better able to help you hunt down this thing? Anyway, just feelings.
I did not see the fortify endeavor.
That actually looks pretty appropriate for this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just take a quick glance. Fortify. So spend.
It is on page 116.
Yeah, spend
of
money
Champions Order.
To do things. Cool.
That's really cool.
And I have
so
to do
you
a
can basically
crafting. I don't have crafting though. I have terrible crafting, but yeah.
Yeah.
I can pay people to do it, but
it's not really set up to do what I think you want it to do, or I was hoping it would do. Anyway, all right. Well, just
so anyways, the main reason is like so I was doing some research on just how historically whaling was done in the past, in 1800s and such. And one of the main things about the main difference for a whaling boat versus a regular boat is that a whaling boat can go forwards and backwards. So it's pointed on both ends, kind of like a canoe, if you think about it in that way. So I imagine our sloops being kind of like unidirectional. And so one of the things that he wants to do is just trade in one of the boats for equivalent sized boat, but one that just can go forward and backwards, essentially.
We've got this new technology. It lets you go backwards.
I call it a canoe.
Slaps the canoe. You can put so many whales into this,
so much
baby.
Backwards on this.
What dark magic is this?
So Murray, what do you want to be doing mechanically here?
Yeah, I mean, he's not really pursuing like an endeavor in the book. I think shopping is one of the endeavors, kind of though. So this would all just be part of. So he has to repair his armor. So he's going to go find a guy, drop off his armor, have it repaired over the course of the week, and then that'll cost him 100 drops, and then talk to some people trying to arrange some deals. Aside from getting the whaling boat, the other thing that he wants to get. So the way you hunt a whale. They had.
Let me tell you about hunting whales.
Yeah, the most common way was like grenade harpoons, which one sounds awesome, but I don't think it's really realistic in this case because even if it can attach explosives to a harpoon, I don't think it would affect the sea worm as much as it would affect a whale normally. But I really liked the technology that they used before then, which was they used a thing called a drogue. Which is like a windsock or like a parachute. So you would attach it to a harpoon, you shoot it into the body, and it just drags. There's enough give that the rope won't like snap, but you just keep shooting harpoons at it, and you would tire the beast out because as they travel through the water, it'll just keep dragging them. And then when they get exhausted enough, then you just go up to them and murder their faces. So that's his strategy. He's gonna tire out the sea worm and then murder its face. So he would need to like pay for this for these equipment stuff that he wants to get. Yeah. So that's his entire big like shopping trip. He's gonna go repair armor, trade a boat, and buy equipment.
So prepping.
That's
to
beyond
murder.
I think that's beyond. I think that's beyond shopping. Like, so there's a number of things in here. I've just been kind of reading up on different endeavors. Like, track beast is an actual endeavor, but I don't think that's really what you're doing right now.
Eventually, he'll want to do track beast. But again, he also doesn't have enough survival right now to be able to actually complete that successfully, even if he does perfect rolls. So I'm not going to do that one just yet. But that is one that I do intend to do in the future.
I'm trying to think about the best way to do this. This is a little bit trickier because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to you got your armor repaired. You want to get a different ship. You should have to figure out how that works mechanically because there's not really rules for that yet. There's an upcoming book that'll do all like naval combat, aerial combat, stuff like that. We don't have that yet. So we'd have to figure out like what that would be from the perspective of the mechanics of your ship. right? Like, is it going to have a turret on? Is it going to be able to have, like, navigate in certain ways? Is it going to give you advantage on checks, right? So yeah, I don't know really right offhand like what we'll do. Like, I was trying to figure out what this would be. I don't have that ready yet. We'll have to maybe take care of that between sessions.
That's fair. I just wanted to pitch this to you because I thought it would be kind of cool. This would be his storyline, his story arc, anyways, because that's what he wants to do. So he's just going to throw all his money, all his XP towards it until it's done. It's going to be his obsession for the next while.
Well, or would you want to do anything of like building up like a network, or like you can get a crew, you can do like lots of different kinds of stuff. Like specifically, I don't think
we have all the other PCs.
You do, that's true. But you can actually, like, I'm saying you could rally followers beyond the three of you that would normally be going out. But yeah, I just don't have any answer for you about the ship at this point.
What would rally followers help?
Oh, that's an endeavor though, but you're already doing an endeavor, so
yeah,
I guess
for
you can't do that
shopping.
anyways.
So that would be a future type of thing. Yeah. The other thing that I need to note that could be part of this shopping stuff is that he has the Admiral Tramp Stamp's blunderbuss in one of his books.
Right. So the blunderbuss isn't like, you can't just like fire it. It basically, the way that this was built, it's like a biomechanical contraption because it was like hooked into him. And it was basically firing up this bilgy bile. So that's just drops.
Yeah. So yeah, I figured I would just sell it as part of this trip. And then the book, I don't know if anybody wanted the book. It's a book of magic.
I couldn't get to my unmute in time.
I put up my hand. Maris put up her hand is what happened there.
This is great for radio. Maris raised her hand. I mean, yeah, by all means, I don't know. I can hand that over to Maris. More than happy. We're best of friends, of course. He's like, found this book. I don't know what's in it. You seem interested. You can keep it.
Gimme. Well, there'd be more to it than that, but yeah.
No, that sounds about right.
That's okay.
Actually, to kind of quickly jump in, should we be refreshing our wounds?
Yeah. So, that's a good point. With the way Endeavors work, it's a week of downtime. So yeah, all of your wounds, all of your toughness will refresh.
Nice. That's what I want to hear. Because I have a lot of those. So
I no longer have a book. Dylan, you'll have to chat with Dave as to what that book does. For the blunderbuss, roughly how much drops would that be?
Let's find out, because this is going to be a roll, because it's essentially scrap.
Well, scrap.
Not bad, 120 drops.
Oh, good. Then my net gain is 20, because I'm spending 100 on repairing my armor.
Hey!
Yeah, I figured it makes the most sense to just trade the blunderbuss for repairing for me. But yeah, that's basically what Faust is doing. We can work out what the mechanically the rest of the stuff means as he acquires equipment to go hunt down his Moby Dick.
Bort should be pretty simple anyways. I think Bort just needs to do regular maintenance for his ether rig. He didn't do it last time, and so if he didn't do it this time, then we'd be going forward with -2 power, which is not cool. So,
but you don't need your God's Eye anymore, so you don't need
no.
power
But what I'm trying to do is make a little bit of space so that next endeavor I can craft a new like ether rig tool to take the place of the God's Eye. So
nice.
God's nose.
Yeah, so I guess back on Torlann, Bort just realizes that maybe his ether rig hasn't been functioning quite as smoothly or as predictably as it has been in the past, and so he needs to dismantle and take some pieces apart and do some cleaning and maintenance on his ether rig. Probably just holes himself up in his cabin for a night and just goes for it.
Cool. So in the early hours of the morning, Bort, you're working. I love the reactions. Just you're working away. Like, it's definitely quiet on Torlann, and you hear a laugh come up from outside, and then a high pitched whir as you see a bright light go scanning across into the night sky.
Okay.
And you hear more laughter. It sounds like drunken laughter. There's like 3 or 4 different voices kind of echoing out across the water. But you can't see anything from your current position.
I'm still in my cabin, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Take a little peek out. I'll open the door a crack, see if I can see anything.
So you can go to your window. It's coming from outside.
Oh, I see.
Outside.
Okay.
But you take your look up and you peek over and you see 2 humans, a dwarf, an elf, a man, and a dwarf. You see 2 humans, a dwarf, and a halfling, all standing on the shore of Torlann. You notice one is a little bit shinier. They have some glistening metal parts on their back. And you see the 3 of the others, aside from the human, are taking turns throwing things into the ocean, while a giant red beam plucks them out of the sky on occasion.
Scott Summers.
Oh, sweet. That probably, does that silhouette look like my friend Mariah Carrion?
If you have to say it twice, I don't know if you believe it.
Yes, you see the telltale elaborate feathers and shimmering breastplate of a Mariah Carrion skeet shooting items that are being thrown into the ocean.
Oh, perfect. Looks like he's doing really well.
Give him a little wave. And he's just like,
gives him the thumbs up from the window.
And you hear as you kind of like turn back to go work on your items, he says, "I am a glimmering god. I will fall before my serene powers. As the pursuit of perfection, metallic perfection will be mine." And he zaps a plate out of the sky. And you hear Bernie Bergsbaum go like, "Wow, that's amazing."
Sounds like this really worked out for him. This is great.
What have you created, Bort?
Superhuman. No, just a new friend and perhaps a new ally. That's amazing. I don't think Bort wants to go out and disturb his his moment of, I guess,
positive
joy.
character development.
Yeah. His little like spot in the spotlight, right now. So I'll let him soak that one in.
Sure.
I like to think that Bort feels hungry at this point and licks his lips.
Oh my god.
Hungry with inspiration.
No, hungry
New
with
ideas.
a deep, deep lust for blood.
Oh, that kind of hungry. Am I? Yeah.
Mountain Dew Code Red.
Yeah. Feeling kind of like pale and clammy.
I feel pale.
Today I feel pale.
I'm so pale.
It's one of my favorite vines. Okri, go for it. What are you doing?
Hello, yes, hi. I wanted to take the Ether Crafting Endeavor, and I wanted to make myself some sky mines. Some mines for the sky.
Ooh.
So,
Cool.
yeah, I've done the Crafting Endeavor before. It's just 3 extended tests. To make them, I need 80 drops worth of material, which I should have enough of. And, yeah, it's a DN48. So let me just take this money away. So, yeah, essentially, it's just going to be... it's one of those things like after the Skaven oil rig, it's like, I should probably get some more goodies to fight bigger crowds with, because those Skaven slaves were bad business. So that's kind of my thought process behind that. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll that. And 1 second. I was actually thinking about doing the Conspire Endeavor as well, because it's just one of those newer fun ones. It's just like, oh man, just start talking mad rumors and gossip behind people's back, but may not be the best idea. Okay, so I get 3 tests. It is a crafting roll, so I have my mine plus my crafting. Let's see this. I need 4/8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my first one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. and 10, 11. I got 11 successes out of the 8 I needed. And okay,
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't need to. Do you need to expend any crafting ingredients or drops for that, or is it just happen?
Yeah, no, I do. I spent the 80 drops I needed, and the way I kind of like to imagine is like I sent a letter out to Braca over in Gromerstown, just like, hello there, Braca. I need and then just a list of ingredients of like, I need this, please.
Question, like
Okay.
the sky mines.
Yeah.
Do you like throw them out into the sky and they hover and they explode, or do you throw like what are sky mines? Unless you explained it and I completely missed it.
I did not. No, don't worry. So essentially, they're like sea mines in the same kind of sense, and like the same ball and like sensors on the outside, except they have a gas in them that can make them float. So I can either tether them on the ground and hide them, or I can just have them float into the air. And unless a spell kind of moves them, they just stay in the spot that they are. And if anything comes within close range of the mine, it explodes. Or I can detonate it in 1, 2, or 3 rounds.
Cool.
That's
and,
cool.
Because of the talent I took, the Etheric Agitator, they deal 8 damage. So
Wow.
Well, and now you're extra beefy and extra scary.
exactly. And I have a Sky Mine.
Still, 8 damage is a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Don't spend it all in
It's
one place.
Yeah. Exactly. Do my best not to. Well.
How big is the explosion? Is it like everything within a zone, or?
Everything within a zone. That's how blast works. Anything within a zone of blast takes that damage. So.
Oh, okay. So like only when the other party members are not around, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make sure not to be anywhere near Okri from now on.
Yeah, I'm going to not
much.
adventure with Okri for a session or two, and just hope things get taken care of.
See what happens. It's okay. You guys don't know about that I made a Sky Mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
right?
very
Like,
true. Yeah. What is this weird
I disagree. I feel like Okri would have been yelling, I made a sky mine.
Actually, fair.
When he
Okri
did.
definitely back. Guess what I did, idiots?
Throughout the entire week, just random explosions going off. It's like Homer when he was like doing the alcohol thing. It's just kablamo, and like we know you're making sky mines with Okri.
See,
You don't have to pretend.
could have made a sea mine to kill that sea worm.
Yeah,
It's the same process. I just dunk it underwater.
Oh, there you go.
It's an amphibious sky
It's
mine.
a mine. A mine.
oh,
Good.
Had to get one of those in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Every episode, we got to make sure. Frostglade, you want to take us home with your endeavor?
yeah, sure thing. You guys can help me out with this one actually a little bit. So,
Whoa.
I don't know about
everybody
that.
just logs
I
on.
thought you weren't even
Yeah,
here.
you didn't want us to know.
You guys haven't been doing homework this whole time?
Well,
This isn't going to work.
I didn't get any Frostglade help with my endeavor that I was literally 1 dice away from completing, so I don't know, man.
and
that
Frostgrade's
sucks.
Frostglade is literally a tree.
Well, that's why he's hard to find. He's just holding still. Listen, guys, are we doing this or not? Jeez, that wasn't real outrage. I'm very sorry. Okay, so Frostglade goes out to Fireslayer Isle, comes back mortally, actually not mortally wounded, I shouldn't say that, but horrifically burnt. And then when you guys see Frostglade after that escapade, you see that he's big and imposing generally, but when all of the vegetation is burnt away, he's actually looks kind of gaunt almost, really tall and kind of thin, and it's probably not the way you think about Frostglade, but you might even think he looks almost vulnerable. Anyway, then he went off and had another adventure at Westercast Isle, and everything went perfectly well there. When he came back, Frostglade doesn't even speak to Maris or Bort. He mans the oars, brings them back, and just doesn't really report in, and just goes and disappears into Torlann's glade for I'm going to say maybe a week or so. So he's if you guys did ask him for help with anything, if you were able to find him, he would probably, oh boy, I probably shouldn't say this because Franco's going to be pissed. He probably would have helped with just about anything, but he would have been despondent and, would have just been like an automaton. Like, you need something lifted, the lifter robot can do it for you. And then he'd go back and go into his into the situation where you guys find him. So here's the real question for the group of PCs. Who wants to find Frostglade near the end of this week?
Not me, because I'll be angry.
Maris thinks she did something wrong, that her and Bort did something wrong. That's why Frostglade left.
Oh no, Dave! I've scared everyone away. We can't do it.
We might have all been feeling a little bit awkward about that last little adventure. So,
all right.
Oh no,
we'll have Phallus do it. Phallus comes back from his shopping trip.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Probably makes sense. So,
he's got his bags of groceries and everything.
No one finds him. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And he's gone forever.
It didn't occur to me that that no one would come find me. Okay, well, thank you, Murray, Phallus. Really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of narration here, Phallus. And feel free to jump in when it. I don't know how this is going to work, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Jump in when it feels appropriate. So, Phallus, you find Frostglade in Torlann's glade. He's slumped on the grass. His weapons are scattered around him like toys, and only that crimson wooded greatbow is in his hands. He's facing the Simmersoul Sea, but his great shoulders that are covered now with, a little bit of an inch-long growth of moss, lichen, and new branchlets, his shoulders that are covered by all this are completely slack. He's staring only at the bow in his hands, and his expression is completely blank, even more so than usual. It's somber. So as you approach, he probably hears you coming, or maybe not. He exhales deeply. The usual rumbling escapes his chest, though you detect a bit of a raggedness to it. And then he doesn't speak. What do you say?
You're right there, Frosty.
He takes another deep breath.
Reaches into his little grocery bag, takes out some Snickers, and is just like,
oh, God damn it, Phallus. Frostglade does not take the Snickers. Instead, he rumbles and says, I failed her. Failed them.
Who?
You should know. You deserve to know, Phallus. You've been a strong friend.
Oh, I think you've been a good friend as well, Frosty. Very kind of you to say so.
Maybe not so much. And then he takes a deep breath, filling liters upon liters of air into his lungs, and tells you a short story. I almost started just reading that. I never felt one with my heartwood glade. They do not waver, but when among them, I was always filled with doubt. At the battle for the Genesis Gate, I was struck. And as he says that, he's absent-mindedly reaching up for what you can now see because of the lack of growth on his body. You see this great scar. It's like a permanent fissure running through the pauldron-like bark covering his right shoulder. The wound bisects a ruin, like right through down the middle, and the ruin it bisects is completely dark, unlike the many others that glow across his body. He sort of absent-mindedly just and gingerly lays his fingers upon it, and he says, looking off into nothing, the wound, I could feel it undoing me from the inside. I despaired. And he looks down at the ground, and I fled. Where I fled, the line broke. Where the line broke, Sylvaneth died. He squeezes his eyes shut, and, Frostglade's been part of a few somber moments before. You may or may not know that Sylvaneth cried, but he proves it here as tears fall across his hands, splash his forearms, and the bow that he's holding. And he asks the world at large, how many did my cowardice kill that day? Dozens, maybe more. And then he opens his eyes, peers out over the water, takes another deep, ragged breath, and you hear the wood of the greatbow creak as he squeezes it with his arms. But there was one more for certain. A branch witch, a healer, a hero to our people, and my friend. She found me
She cast out the sickness of my wound in one breath, and in the next was ended by Nurgle's Glotkin.
He squeezes the bow to the point where you can hear it creaking, and then just relaxes. And you didn't think he could collapse even more than he'd already had, but somehow he slumps further and stares at nothing.
Phallus kind of, Phallus, like, he intends to put his hand on Frostglade's shoulder, but then realize he's a little bit too tall and kind of awkward, so he awkwardly moves it towards his hand where he's holding the bow instead, and rests there. You know, Frosty, I know a little something about not quite fitting in with your crew. I also know a little something about having the death of friends on your hands. And I'll tell you what I vow to live for. I found new friends here, and I promised myself that I wouldn't let them down. All you can do at this moment is walk forward and take care of what you can take care of. The past is the past. Friendship is the true treasure.
So Frostglade lays his hand on Phallus's hand, looks into your eyes with nothing but kindness, but he's already shaking his head as you're finished speaking, and he says,
You cannot understand. I gave myself to the binding to escape the spirit song, to escape my shame, to escape the lie of faith my people sang to me with every breath. I know now that shame will follow me forever. It is me.
Your feelings are valid, Frostglade. Let that be the strength that empowers you forward. Let this be what drives you to fight and protect friends.
Frostglade pats Phallus on the hand and sits up a little straighter and pats him once on the shoulder and just shares a moment, and then stares off into the Simmersoul Sea. And that will conclude Frostglade's week of grieving, which was the endeavor I chose.
Bravo.
So mechanically with grieving,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be having Frostglade increase his maximum metal by 1, so you're going to have 2. Meaning that on the first round, when combats begin, you're going to be able to expend 2, and you're going to refresh 1 every time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like what some high tier enemies have. I also want to give you all a soul fire for that. So track it on your party sheet.
What are we at then for Soulfire with that?
That's a good question.
No idea.
What is our max Soulfire? Because I saw something in the PHB.
It's equal to your party.
I thought we had a lot less. I thought we had 3. We should be at like.
Well, we usually have 6, and then we split it amongst the groups heading out.
Okay.
So like each group, like, so let's say we have 6, and then a group of 3 moving out would take 3 of that, and another group would take 3 of that.
Okay.
And so like available to us in the adventure would be 3, but I don't like if we don't use them, then we just put it back into the max pool before we split it off and split up the party again.
So yeah, we can probably take care of that between sessions in terms of focusing on like what your current total is. But yeah, we'll make sure that we track that up by 1. I also want to just take a moment to talk about goals. So we haven't really been doing these very often because we were kind of going off different systems and stuff like that. What I'd like everybody to do is read the goals section in the core rulebook and basically write out all your goals. And we can work together on that. I think we could probably start up a thread in the Discord for how we want to track that stuff. And then that way we'll try and replenish your soul fire at a more regular rate. Nico?
There's also a bunch of goals, long-term and short-term, in the beginning of Champions of Order that's specific to factions. So say if you are playing a Sylvaneth, there'll be some short and long-term goals that are appropriate to that like species and like kind of culture. Same thing with everyone
Do
else.
we replenish Soulfire for completing goals and such? I forget. Yeah.
That's how you get them back.
Yeah. So I figure like from our Skaven adventure, we spent 1, but we probably regained that 1 back.
Well, so that's the thing. We hadn't really set up the goal tracking thing because it was very difficult with the format of the adventure. What I was also going to do is, you guys got one just because that's some fantastic role play there. You're going to get an additional one just to represent. You brought in some islands recently to the Storm's Mandate, so you're going to go up one as well. So you're going to go up 2 from before, but we're going forward. We're going to make it easier for you guys to reclaim Soulfire.
All right,
Are
so
we-
we're at a full
are we
6,
doing
I
that?
assume.
Yeah, I think we should be fully replenished.
We'll take care. We'll do some post management stuff. We don't need to go through that right now. I am also going to do the increased. So 2 rumors and 1 threat are going to increase.
I'm pretty sure we're good, Dave. We can just call it good session, guys. Good session.
Good stuff.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
And scene.
If we all leave, you
Edit
can't
it
do
out.
anything.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bort, you're sitting in your chambers, and you've had a long night, and you've kind of noticed that you're not really tired anymore. You've been working all night. You feel as vivid and as refreshed as you would during the day, in fact. And you notice that as soon as the light streams in through your window, you squint and you kind of recoil from it slightly. It's just one of those things where you just feel a lot less comfortable in daylight as you do in the darkness, and you just feel like a thirst. You've been drinking, you've been eating, and you just don't feel as satisfied as you used to. If anyone were to look at your complexion would be a fair touch paler than before, but that'll be a new fear as Bort's potential vampirism escalates.
Why did you do
so
this?
pale.
Well, I filled it with wine. It was the old goblet that Bort found in the Man-Bat's castle that we went to, and he wasn't there for the previous adventure when the rest of the party had gone there, and he just found this beautiful goblet, this chalice, and brought it back. And I think when we were all dining together, he's just like, fill up this brand new goblet that I found.
Yeah,
It's
Ekram
awesome.
put a bunch of soup in it. Yeah.
Wasn't it stew? Yeah, it wasn't even wine.
It wasn't wine? No, it was
It was
stew.
stew.
All right.
Vampire stew.
My good old stew goblet.
And then Maris is gonna come running and be like, Bort, you're a vampire. Like,
I think like Bort's vampire symptoms are still at the point where you almost like rationalize it or kind of like play it off. You're like, oh, of course I'm kind of pale. I've been doing a lot of like, I've been holed up in my cabin for a while and doing a lot of adventuring at night. Like,
I don't need to go to a
wears
doctor.
full body armor, so like, how often do you see Bort's skin?
exactly. I don't.
Bort
I
isn't
don't
every
see
day.
the
exposed to the
too
sun.
often.
I mean, it's weird he's not more pale, in fact.
Yeah. I'm like, and if I've been working long hours into the night, I'm like, maybe I'm shifting my sleep cycle and just I'm a little bit more alert in the evenings now. This is
See, Marielle, I would almost believe that the entire thing was accidental, except for how many times you made sure that we were aware you drank out of the goblet.
Well, because
during that sequence,
because Dave kept mentioning that it was like there was like something in it, and I'm like, this seems significant, but I feel like my character would just do this. Like, he wouldn't know. Like,
didn't want to
no one
waste.
said anything.
Like so here's
that's why hygiene is important.
So from
kids.
Bort's perspective, the best case scenario here, it seems to me, that he wouldn't want to waste some old wine or whatever was in the cup. I mean, this is the upside here. He couldn't wash it. It could be spend 2 minutes washing it, not even, or just like drink what's in there, because whatever, it's fine.
no, he's not the most like germophobic or anything. He was just like, I think it was just like the goblet or whatever is described as like being like pretty. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Like,
glad
look
you're in
kinda
charge
cool.
of surgery.
And so, look, it's makes you stronger, right?
whatever
exactly.
makes you stronger.
Is that blasting in Bort's like headphones that he wears on
Right.
his head?
That's what actually
He's
drives
just
him
like
crazy.
jamming out to himself. Drinking from his soup chalice.
This is my soup chalice.
What do you mean you guys don't have a soup chalice?
The other 2 escalations, I'm going to record separately, and I'll send you guys some updates.
Sounds good.
But that was one rumor that increased. One fear is now going to escalate to a threat.
No.
And one more rumor to a fear.
Which
Doesn't
one?
that also push the doom up one if something becomes a threat?
No.
Oh.
Oh, Dave,
I
you
see.
look way too eager. Why are you dancing? Stop dancing, Dave.
Can
Stop
Doom,
dancing, you can't do it.
Can Doom go above 10?
No.
No, that's
So
we all
technically,
die.
now hear me out here, guys. Let's just let everything escalate all the way
Yeah.
up, and then we'll bring it back down, and we'll be at a lower level than we started at.
Yeah, it
That's
goes too
actually true.
high, hits an error and resets.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
what he
No.
means is
If
that
we
it'll
hit that
cap
ceiling,
out.
then we can stop worrying about it.
Exactly.
Which one?
Actually, yeah, what happens?
The end times.
It does happen when you get
10
to-
Doom is like the end times, isn't it? It's like it's really bad.
I was interested in taking, I think it's like prophetic dreams as a trait, like curious about that. And one of the roles, you can see the end of the mortal realms in your prophetic dream, and then Doom goes up by one.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Oh, might be worth it.
Oh no.
Oh, hey,
No,
sort of off topic, but is there such thing as retraining?
Yeah.
I should look into
no.
that. Okay. Oh,
You just
no?
need Maris and Okri to fail some forbidden knowledge checks over and over and over and over.
Isaac, the one that lets you like kind of retrain is the transform.
Oh,
Endeavor.
yeah, I read that. That's pretty rough. Okay, so there's... that's a bummer. All right.
It's almost like
Take
you
the
can't just
transform and-
retrain as you want. Yeah.
Frostglade gets pruned.
Just make Frostglade into like a more cleric-y kind of type. Trade your body for soul.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I guess you could be reforged, like if Frostblade became Stormcast.
Frost
Yeah,
is
I just don't like
Gladius.
my talents, for the most part, so... Now.
You can always just do a last stand, let Frostlake die, and then come back as good old Frost Gland.
Fight
All the things
revenue.
you're saying right now make me want to puke a little bit.
But also, I love seeing Frostglade and Phallus become even better best friends.
It's a good thing somebody came to find me, otherwise I would have had an Endeavor alone.
Yeah, it had to be the one guy who just went
I
out
would've been
shopping
talking
and
to no
came
one.
back. He's just like, hey, what's going on, guys?
Man, I
I
sure
got
could
my
use
shopping bags.
an extra die or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Franco.
I actually
Unfortunately,
don't think you can. I actually don't
left.
think you can just help each other in endeavors.
No.
Oh, that's fair.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a specific
Um,
endeavor though that you can take where people help you, but it has to be like a party and like it has to be everyone, or like
Mhm.
you lose out on your endeavor if you're taking part
Mhm.
of that.
Yeah, I saw a few of those. Yeah, we should probably reduce Doom at some point, guys. Hot take here, but that's my thought.
I think
think that was the goal of like the next endeavor we were going to do, which was now, but we just didn't.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, no one wanted to.
We're
Yeah.
all like, fuck it.
Well, I mean, like I said, I originally pitched it because I was just like, well, we can do this as a really quick thing, don't have to prepare anything,
Mhm.
and then we can go ahead and move on
Then
with our lives.
Champions of Order came out and everyone was so excited with all the new
Well,
options.
pretty much. That's what happened to me. It was just like, oh, that sounds cool, but however.
I think
Yeah.
I think if we play this where like bringing in islands will reduce Doom, it's going to be fine. Like we're going to be at 8 Doom for whatever the next session is. The next team that goes out is definitely going to succeed. That'll bring Doom down, and it'll address a rumor of fear, right?
Yeah, just like the last one.
Pretty much.
That'll be 2 Doom
Yeah,
gone.
that one went perfect.
well,
That
to
sounds
me-
like it was
my
your
new
fault,
vampire
though.
friends?
I feel like that was your fault.
well,
no babies were lost.
maybe two birds, two
Oh.
birds and one stone, where we go hunt a sea worm. Is it a sea worm? I completely forgot.
Merworm.
Okay, merworm.
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 And then
Merworm.
what's going on with
Merworm.
these
Merworm.
maybe
Merworm.
souls being pulled down to the deep and the whole thing that Maris saw? Like, we got to go in the ocean either way, so let's find a submarine.
Totally. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, lots of options next
Yeah.
time on Questward. Thanks, everybody.
Bye!
GG's.
Take care.